Today for New Music Monday, we're going to check out the brand new album from Moon Duo, and it's called Shadow of the Sun. For those unaware, this is a side project of Ripley Johnson from Wooden Ships. You gotta know that band also, and I think this is their third, maybe their fourth full length, and they've also put out an EP or two. The big thing about this one though is it starts off with a bang in full Top Gear. It wastes no time getting you woken up. And that instant energy you find is going to make you want to turn it up right away. You gotta crank this one from the get-go. From beginning to end, the tone on the keys on this album are really amazing. It's totally what makes this record so great for me, and I can't get enough of them. It's a great sound. They're moody and dark, and even when it's an up-tempo song, and a lot of these are, it still has this really cool tone to it. Trust me, check it out. But don't think that means I'm sleeping on or don't appreciate the guitars on this album, because that's not true at all. They rip it up in the best way possible, and there's just the right amount of fuzz to really make it sting. And honestly, it's impossible not to rock out to this record. The music is great. One of the really cool things though is even when they're going full force and there's so much volume, there's always this warmth to every single song. And being able to pull those off simultaneously is rarely achieved, and they do it really well in the first half of this record. The first two tracks play perfectly off of one another, and they're a great introduction to this band, and it shows just how creative Moon Duo can be. And honestly, the swing on Night Beat is addictive as hell. You're gonna get hooked on it. The first third of this album is the sort of record that you can really sink into. You can get lost in it. It's really good. And it manages to bring that psych sound without having to get super mellow. It puts the rock in psych rock. But once you get to the middle of the album, things start to slow down and a whole other side of the band becomes clear, as they're able to keep things just as engaging with a more down-tempo, slower, almost spacey sound. While the first part of the album is full of explosion, the middle and most of the end is more of a slow burner, that more traditional psychedelic sound. And it really lets this album offer a lot to a lot of different people. As things slowed down, some of the songs blended together and I really wasn't crazy about them. But the moments I didn't like as much were few and far between. Vocally, things are fine, but it's really not much to write home about. This album is about the instrumentation. And to that point, for me, I could have done without the vocals entirely. This would be a great instrumental record, and there would be nothing wrong with that. The ordering on this record is good in theory. It gets more mellow and a bit slower as things go. And while it usually does work, in this case, it kind of makes the album hard to listen to on repeat if you're that sort of a listener. It sort of jolts back to the beginning, and although the end of the album has a bit of an up spike, I don't know, it just didn't sit right with me. It also doesn't help that the weaker moments musically all fall at the end of the album. The final 15 to 20 minutes, they just aren't as impressive as the opening. But all in all, this album is definitely a good peek into what's going on in the world of psych rock today. And there are a few songs that are outright fun that everybody needs to hear. And on the Buy It or Borrow It, the new album from Moon Duo is a solid borrow it. There are some great songs here, and I think everybody can enjoy parts of it. So that's what I got for you guys today. I hope you dug it. If you did, go ahead and click subscribe and hop down in the comments and tell me what you're digging in psych rock these days. You can follow me on Twitter and Facebook right here, and I'll see you guys again next time.